So I have this Netlify TOML file, and what I've realized is that this isn't used by Netlify to publish. It's used to set up a new Netlify deploy settings. So if you want to check out this React and run your own Netlify deploy, that TOML file will help with that. So what we need to do is update our deploy settings. I believe in here is going to be some information about redirects. I think settings, functions, deploys, overview, domain management. I don't want a custom domain. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I had to take care of something. You know how that goes. Okay, redirects in the browser. So these are basic redirects, and you set them up in a redirects file. Now, this redirects file worked for me when I was trying this out. So I tried switching it over to this TOML format, and it didn't work at all. This is basically what I had in my redirects file right here. And when I do it here, it completely breaks it. And I had taken out force equals true, so I thought that was causing it, but it didn't seem to be the issue. One of the problems that I'm having right now is yarn build takes about 3 to 5 minutes to run. It's building all the React code. And so I think I might want to skip this for now if I can, just for debugging purposes. So I'll try that out. So let's see. That's the ID. What do I need to do? I need to see if when I run yarn build. So it's gonna be fun to explain. Oh, do I not have? Okay, I was trying to open the folder for us. Let me bring it up. Okay, so in fixtures and DOM, there is a package.json file. I'll open that up. React scripts build. I think I'm gonna try this locally and see if it'll give me a little help dialog for building this out. I think it will, if I remember correctly. Okay, clear that up, and then I'll go into fixtures and DOM, and I'm gonna run yarn build, and let's see what this does. This might actually work in this case because I've already run it. So I'm gonna go back out, and there's gonna be probably a build folder. I'm gonna remove that build folder. Actually, I'm just gonna move it. And then go back to my DOM, and I'm gonna run my build again, and it should complain that there isn't stuff out there. Ah, it didn't. Why did it not? I'll delete this build folder. Maybe that will throw an issue. Build old got moved. That's really strange. Last time I did this, it was having some big issues with it not being built. On that too. So there's no build in there. I guess I'll just remove this build old. And node modules I'll keep. Packages, I guess I'll try going back. So I'm just trying to figure out with this command if I really need to run yarn build. You know, that wouldn't be terrible. Is just trying this out in Netlify. So if I change that and update that, let's see what that does. And then update this. So I go back to my terminal. Only thing that's changed is the Netlify file. So I'll add that and then commit it. I'll just call this attempt number 1 of the day. There's going to be lots more attempts. So again, what I'm trying to do is publish this, these DOM fixtures out to a Netlify site. And what I'm running into right now is it gets published out there just fine. But because I have this redirect in here, because it's a single page app, when it tries to load this file, this JavaScript file, if I open this in a new tab, you see it doesn't actually load the JavaScript. It tries to load basically it tries to load the index page, which then again tries to load this file, which then again, yeah, kind of loops through. So I'm trying to understand this, golly, lost my train of thought. Why it's doing that, but also what I need to run when I do my deploy. So we've got my deploy building because I uploaded it to Netlify or to GitHub and it's hooked in. Right now it's installing everything. And I did have the redirects working before, but now I don't for some reason. Handling host names and protocols. I wonder if there's an ignore. No, that's not what I wanted. So if I run test rules. Oh, that's interesting. Invalid origin. Either start with a slash, which it does. Does base need to start with a slash? From invalid origin. You start with a slash or be an absolute URL. It does. Maybe it doesn't need the quotes around everything. So somewhere in here is the Netlify TOML reference. And if I look up redirects, yeah, that's like if I copy this over, that's annoying. Why? I mean, it does. It does. So why are you complaining about that? What if I do this? Yeah, what is that? Invalid origin URL. Oh, couldn't find anything. Redirects. Oh, that's the I think what's going on is this playground. Yeah, only test your redirect rules or your header rules. It's not actually testing in a TOML file, so that stinks. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense as to why it was throwing an error. Role base. So where was this? Yeah, it just says that they're valid. It doesn't actually explain how they work. Okay. Failed to build, which is kind of what I was expecting. Here's what was going on. Why did it fail? Failed to build site, failed during stage building site, deploy directory build does not exist. Okay. So I got that path wrong. So now I need to go back into the TOML file and figure out what that path should look like. So I'll jump back up to here. Build, I've got the base. And then the publish. So the base is fixtures.dom, the publish is build. This directory that we put relative to the root. Okay. So I think it needs to be like that. What does base do? This is the project. This is the directory to change to before starting build. Okay. So it changes to the fixtures DOM, runs yarn install and yarn build. Let's attempt number 2 it. Okay, so we're running a new deploy out here. This one just failed, but I've got attempt number 2 coming out. So did I push it? Did I push it? I didn't. I need to push it up. That helps. Welcome to the stream if you're just joining. Working on Netlify and React DOM fixtures. Let me know what you're up to. If you don't mind, say hi in the chat room. Okay, let's try refreshing this. And if at any point the screen stops refreshing, if you see the mouse pointer just like stuck for a while, let me know, because my capture card has been having issues where it will just stop processing the screen and just freeze up. So I'm hoping to avoid that today, but I've already had it happen once. Okay, this is building. Site is live. So where did it build from? Like, that's to be expected, right? Okay, so it actually did have this. That's good. Why did it freak out? React development.js. Okay. Was it because these files don't even exist? Cannot read property component and undefined. Yeah, that makes sense because React didn't really load. Let's go back to my fixtures file. And then I'm gonna run my yarn build here. And let's see what comes out of there. So there's my build file. I do have the JS. I do have the dom.js. So it is building that out. That's good. I think it's this redirect that's still having issues. So what can I do there? Deploy details like publishing to deploy, keyboard, scroll to the bottom. What's really weird is that if I view the page source, this file loaded just fine. But if I try loading a file that I know I have, oh, this file, the main.js, I think tries to load the DOM fixtures, or React development. Yeah, it tries loading React development into the source of the page. Here. But it doesn't like that. Okay, I'm gonna take this out, save that. I'm gonna create a new file, and I'm gonna go back to what was working before, which if I jump all the way up to redirects, and then we had like single page apps in here, history, push state, and single page apps. So I'll copy this, serve the index HTML instead of giving a 404 no matter what the URL in the browser requests. And then this will go, this needs to go into the build folder. Fixtures, DOM. I think that's where it needs to go. Let's check. End up in the folder you're deploying. Additional configuration. To the root of my site folder. So that's saying I need to add it all the way up here. Yeah, that's... I'd really like to keep it in this Netlify file versus mixing it together. But I think for now, I'm going to stick with... I'm just going to try and get this working. Okay, this is attempt number 3. And I'll push it up. So I can close out that and that and that and that. Just so you'll know what this looks like. I go into build and then I'll just run a server. So you have a fixture, so let's say text areas we want to test out. And you know, that makes, this is kind of what was happening on Netlify, is it's trying to load the text areas page instead of just letting this index page load it. So I need to jump out of here. Come on. And then yarn served at, I think it was serve-s. No, what was it called? Yarn global add serve. I think I already have serve in place. Yeah. So this is what it should look like. So I go to number input, and it basically loads the HTML file, and then you can test certain things out. So here's a number input, things like that. Okay, so I can close that. I don't need that. Let's see how this deploy went. Temp 3 deployed good. Preview deploy. Still nothing. So that loaded fine. I feel like, again, it's going to be React development. Page not found. Do we get any errors in here? Create an optimized production build, compiled successfully. Got our chunk file, we got that one. Is there a way I can look at this deploy and see the actual files? So under deploys, I can only go into the log. I can't actually look at the files that happened. That or set up functions, forms, split testing. Darn. Ooh, what is going on? Because I had this working before, and now it doesn't even want to work. You know, I manually deployed out to Netlify last time, and so that's, I wonder if it's not picking up this redirects file. I think it might also need to be uppercase. No, it's lowercase. But even if it didn't pick up that file, it should still load React development. It still should be a thing. If I deploy. What's that do? Okay, so that's kind of expected. This was the initial issue that we ran into, but at least it loads the right files, the development files and everything. I don't know what's going on. My only thought is that this file doesn't actually, oh, React DOM.dat. Oh, but I just deployed it, so that's probably why. Why it's working now. So yeah, if I go back here, it probably will load. Yeah, because this is not the deploy that happened through here. This was a manual deploy that I did. Darn. Oh man. So I do have this file and this file, and if I go back here, I don't have it. That's why it worked here. So I thought everything, when you ran yarn build, I thought everything went into a build folder. Oh shoot, no, not that. Where am I going? Okay. Where did it get this from then? Ooh, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay, so these are in my public files. Let's see if they're in the repo, if they get checked into the repo. No, they don't. So it must have copied this over at some point. So now if I run yarn build, it's see what it does. And I'll run the serve. Did it copy it? What did it do? It's not there anymore. But it's going to be in build? No. Where did it get those files from? Is it still running? No, it's not. It's service again. So it has the files. Where'd they come from? No, not that one. I mean, it's loaded. That's good. Start. The start command runs a script that copies the. What's yarn start do? Okay, so it's trying to grab it from the build and it can't find it. So what does yarn build do? We have start, which runs the start script. Build runs build and copies over some files. I really don't enjoy how these are all hidden behind this React scripts file command. Does anybody have any clue on where I can find information on that React scripts? I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in create React app. But if you know, just let me know. I'll do a little bit of searching for it. Yeah, this is part of create React app. How to create a new user guide. So that's creating a React app. I don't need that. So what did that say again in the README? If I want to reference a local build of React, first run yarn build at the root of the project. So the reason why I'm trying to skip yarn build is that this command takes like 3 to 5 minutes and it makes it really hard for testing. Well, for manual testing. td dom fixtures yarn start. What's I guess yarn just does install. Start command runs a script that copies over the local build of React into the public directory. This is just this whole directory. That's not what I want. That It's so weird. What? Where does React scripts like refer to its documentation? Development dependency. I kind of understand this, I think. So rather than bundle all the code needed to start the server into create React app, they create a package called React scripts that can be updated when they need to update it, and you don't have to update create React app. I think it's kind of a way to get around the fact that create React app, you're going to end up changing quite a lot from the base repo. And so if you try to pull the latest update from create React app, you're going to have a ton of conflicts. And so they create this React scripts that has a lot of the scripts that you need. So here's like the build scripts. Oh, okay, this helps a ton. So this is what is actually being run. So that they can update this package, which you're not going to want to be updating yourself. You're not going to be customizing any of this stuff. I think I understand that a little bit better now. So what does start do? Set some environments. Maybe starts Webpack, runs through Webpack. And then starts a server. So if we go back to our package JSON, so pre-start, it'll copy over the development and DOM development over into your public folder. And then it'll run start, which I guess will serve that public folder, which is different than running build. React scripts build. Let's see what that does. Measure file sizes before build. Okay. So it looks like it might run Webpack against the folder that you're trying to build. And then copy public to build. So that seems to be what React build does. And then it makes a duplicate of the index for the 200 file, just in case you want that for some reason. So that's why I can run build without any issues on my side, because it's not actually checking that these files exist. It's just running build on your public folder. So where can I get React development and React DOM development from? I guess I can just run build. I mean, that's why you would do the build on the main folder. Where's the package JSON? There it is. So what does build do here? Version check and then build everything. I'm wondering if there's a way to build a smaller bit. I don't see anything here. Test prod build. So I'll probably have to, for now, since I want to test redirects, I think what I'm going to do is build locally and run this pre-start command. That way they're in the public folder. Check those files in, and then run my tests or validate that it works as expected. And then when I'm happy with how things are going, I'll probably update this script here to look like it used to look, which was like that. And I'm just gonna let's see if I have a toml package. I do. Excellent. Get that installed. Okay, now I can come down and set syntax to toml. There we go. All that just to avoid typing a couple of pound signs. Great. Okay, so here I'm going to duplicate this line, comment that one out, and just take out yarn build. I guess I thought I was going to take out a little bit more, but I'll just keep that for later reference. So I want to cd into there, yarn install, and yarn build. Okay. I've got my redirects file in the base. Now I'm going to go up 2 directories and run yarn build. And this is going to build the React, that React development file and React DOM development. I wonder if there's a way in this script to pass in certain things. So where's that at? That would be, is that here? Under scripts, what was it, rollup? Yeah. Then build.js. Requested bundle types. So it looks like you can pass in certain bundle types. So I think I would want UMD dev is all I would want. Because that's all I need. Okay, so UMD dev is what I would pass in to my yarn. So let's just skip that. And where does that come from? Is there not a readme? No, I'm gonna have to just guess on that. UMD dev. Where do I set that? argv type. What if I do that? I might need to where does that comes from bundles and bundle types. Oh gee, bundles is in /bundles. Yeah, those are exactly the same. Oh, that's a bundle type. I'm trying to find one that's just React isomorphic. Yeah, that's not a ton. But I would rather not do the bundle. I'd rather just build bundle name. No, not the bundle name, the bundle type. If requested bundle types. So how do I pass that in? What's argv dot type? Oh, I wonder if that's if I need to say dash dash type is equal to umd-dev. Yes. Okay, so that should save some time. Still a bit much, but that's 15 seconds. That's not anything terrible. Okay. So now that I've got that, I'm going to copy this over here and undo this. Save that. Okay. I built that, so I want to go back into my fixtures and then run yarn build. Actually, no. It needs to be copied over, so I'm going to do yarn run pre-start. That's going to copy things over. Now I can run yarn build. And then I can run my serve command to test it locally. Perfect. Okay. I think I would keep that open, but I can close that and close that. So in this command, I build it out. I'm going to need to run one more here, which is pre-start, and then run yarn build. What does yarn start do? Couldn't find an open port. Oh, yeah. I think I had that issue before. Basically, I have an environment variable set. So if I unset my host, not capitals, and then run this again. Yeah. So I don't want to do start because I don't want a local environment started up. I want Netlify to do that. So that's what I'll do through the build. Okay, let's go back there. Fixtures DOM .netlify. I don't want that .netlify file. What's in there? Just the site ID and the path to build, and that's because I ran it from that directory. So no, I don't want that file in there right now. I also don't know why that's in there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I still have the redirects commented out. So this is still going to fail because, well, I do have the redirects file in there, so maybe it won't. Okay. Try it again. So it's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take 15 seconds longer or so to run that build. But we'll see that deploy coming up soon. While we wait, it'll take a little bit of time to build this. Let me know how your day's going, how your week's been going. It's Friday. It's a good day to stream, I think, because if I were to watch a stream, it would be on a Friday afternoon. Just kind of wind down the week and everything. So hopefully y'all are enjoying it as well. I'll be doing this until about 5 o'clock today. So don't feel like you need to stay around the entire time. I certainly wouldn't. I certainly don't expect that. But do feel free to say hi and chat. and let me know what you're up to. If you have any plans for the fun weekend, if you got spring break coming up, or as I learned, they call it in Canada, they call it March break. There's a whole history of breaks out there on Wikipedia. Spring break. I was reading through it the other day. So you see, all these countries have their own little spring break. Sometimes it's not very springy out there. A lot of them revolve around Easter. In America, it just, some of it is Easter, some of it is not. I never went to a school where it was a 2-week long break. That would have been fantastic. It's one of the things that I miss about working full time is having no spring break and no summer break. Definitely miss the summer break. Those are the best. A lot of time just to take care of things either around the house or work on projects and things like that. So, okay, so this is going to fail here. Yeah, that's expected. But it at least loaded our page. We've got this DOM development and development file loaded now. Yeah, okay, so now we need to understand how to get these fixtures to work. Or not the fixtures, sorry, the redirects to work. So what's happening right now, it's trying to actually load the page called selects. And what it needs to do is go to just load the index page and let the index page handle it. I do have a redirects file in here, which is what should be handling this. But let's see if I can remove that file and then uncomment this. Since this build is a bit faster, I'm just going to try this real quick because this is what it should be like. So I'm going to add, commit, and push. Oh. Gotta do it right. My kid's trying to break in. Yikes. Good thing I locked the door. Okay, just running through everything, installing. Okay, so that's the TOML file. Trying to think what else needs to be defined out. And all this is based off of this request, this issue. They would like to deploy test fixtures to a public URL. And so I mentioned this last time, but almost thankfully I haven't heard anything back. That means that my help is still needed in this area. Or, yeah, I don't want to claim that I'm going to solve everything. That would be dumb. Okay. Should be live, not there yet. Site is live. And how's this work? Oh my god, it worked. That was crazy. So I think what was happening was I was thinking this redirect wasn't working when it actually was. It was just a matter of those files weren't there. I don't know why. Oh, I know, because I wasn't running pre-start. And so I was running the build And so I thought the files were being generated, but they weren't being copied over to, let me pop this open, under fixtures. Yeah, this is under fixtures, DOM. They weren't being copied over to this public folder. And so when I would run yarn build in here, it wasn't getting copied over to this build folder. So that's what's going on. Under the ID, let's see what that ID should look like. Don't need to learn about Spring Break anymore. You can close that out. Here, getting started. So your site ID. Did it completely skip over the ID part? That's weird. What if I take this out? What if I take this ID out? Or I think I can just take that out. Move site ID. Because I've gone ahead and set this up already to listen to GitHub. One thing I think I want to do is there's a deploy button. I want to add this deploy button. I feel like I want to. I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna add it to that README file under fixtures DOM README. And I need to update the URL. Help with your favorite mark. Just enter the Git repository address in the box below and we'll create the code. Okay. So I would want that to be here. I think that's what I would want it to be. I don't know if this is gonna actually work. What does this do? Okay, I want to check real quick if this deploy went through. Yeah, it did. Perfect. Okay. Huh. I wonder why that's not working. I should check. Let's see if that's there. So, what was that? And start. Sure, now work. Why not? That one doesn't work though. So 16.3 alpha 0. Let's try that. Okay. So it looks like there's just some that work, some that don't. Maybe they got deleted or something. They're no longer hosted. So 16.0 works. 16.1 works. Okay, cool. I was looking at this deploy button. Incoming hooks, users. I see. No, I don't think there's anything in there I want to use. I can get rid of that. And cool. Now let's compare 7 commits ahead, 5 commits behind. Okay, so I need to squash down my commits and rebase against the main server. So if you want to learn some Git, this is how it will go. So if I look at my commits right now, what have I done recently? So I can get rid of all these attempts. I can actually probably squash down just to this toml file, because that's about the only difference between the two. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to do a git rebase -I for interactive head. I'll do 10. Oh. Okay, I'm going to stash that for now, because I'm not really sure that I want to do anything there. So git rebase head. Jump to here. I'm going to pick that one, and then I'm just going to fix up all of these. Fix up takes the code change that you made, and it adds it to that the nearest commit above it. Okay, so I've got to do a hard push there, because I've like changed the history of everything. Okay. Now if I refresh, 1 commit ahead, 5 commits behind master. Now I need to GitHub rebase fork repository. Syncing a fork. That's fine. I don't need to do that. I need to... Yeah, I need to set up my upstream. So I'm going to do upstream. That's going to point to the core React repository. Now going back to this, I can run git fetch upstream. So this is going to get everything from that React official repository. Make sure I'm in master. I am, and then merge. I really want to rebase. Let's see what that does. Upstream / master. Sweet. And I have to do another force push because I've rebased. So again, I've messed with the history, which is fine for me because I'm the only one working on this. Okay, so it's 1 commit ahead of Facebook masters. So now I can compare the two, and it should just be that Netlify file in here. Perfect. Okay. So now I want to submit a pull request. Okay, so I'm going to name this add Netlify integration for DOM fixtures folder. So I'm going to have to do some explanation about what's going on. And that's always the fun part. Forked it, done. Create my branch, done. Run yarn in the root. Fixed a bug or added code that should be tested. Add test, don't need to do that. Test suite phases, passes. So really shouldn't have changed anything because it's just adding a single file. It's not actually changing code anywhere. But I'll run that just to be sure. Format my code. Don't need to worry about that because I'm in a TOML file. But I will run these just to make sure it doesn't actually try to run it against that TOML file, because that could be a thing. Run the flow type checks, and then I need to complete the CLA. Okay. So, to explain, I will reference this in issue 1179. Nathan Hunziker mentions and I'm going to, oops, yeah, just grab this link and throw it in there. Let's see, did our test finish? Almost finished. Be nice to have an on point of a for manual and automated testing purposes. Right, that's what he said. To distribute manual QA and run automated tests against it. Awesome. Deploy to a public URL. Get rid of that. Since Netlify offers their services for free to open source projects, I thought it this. Okay, that passed. What was the next part about contributing? Okay. I think I'm going to skip that. I did want to run prettier and lint, just to make sure that it ignored that TOML file, and yarn flow as well. Yeah, that's fine. I thought this would be a good fit for this. The way it works. Actually, I'm going to show example end result available here. It's simply okay. And then yarn flow was the last one. Nando, thanks for joining. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, and then I need to complete the CLA. There. But I want to finish this fun little pull request. And before I do this, I'm going to look at their open pull request. Actually, I'm going to look at a closed pull request and see what a decent one looks like. So they got the CLA signed. That was closed versus merged. Well, that's nice and short. Test plan. I should probably include a test plan in here. Create a Netlify account and connect your testing to it. Yeah, so it would be in here. Okay. And then after connection, Netlify should deploy the DOM fixtures folder, build folder to a live Sure. Okay, I need to link to the Netlify offers their services for free. Just do that. What else? I have an example of end result available here. And that should be linked. Why didn't that link correctly? 1179. Yeah. Okay, that was weird. He mentions next time this commit adds a file to easier to deploy. Okay. Now I will be contributing all my information. You get to learn my email address. Sure. You get to learn both of my email addresses. Blah 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 blah. Looks good to me. Cool. Signed. Done. Signed to win my life. Okay. Can y'all see anything else that I should add to this? Single commit adds netlify.toml. One thing is that it adds it to the root of the repo, which I'm not super crazy about. But I've got a lot of things in here already, so. Wow. What is this? Mail map? Is this just a way to get people to... Oh, I bet my name's gonna go on this or something. Goodbye, inbox. It's been fun. Watchman config. It's Watchman. You added a Watchman config file that has nothing in it. swear I've heard of this. Configurations. Okay. File watching service. Cool. That might look useful sometime later. Okay, so I don't think they're going to have a huge issue with adding another file in here because, you know, it's 2018. We need our files, our root folders just to be ginormous. And they have app there, which is another third-party tool, I think, right? Does it? It takes 30 seconds for you to hear it. Yeah, because I've got the delay between, I've got like a 2-second delay on my local setup, plus the delay of the stream. So, oh well, app there can, okay, that's CI/CD for Windows. Cool. How's that look? Y'all take a look at that. I'll give you a second to think about it. And once I hit create pull request, I'm going to take a short break for like 5 minutes and then come back and figure out what to work on next. So it takes 30 seconds for you to hear it. And I feel like the live chat is a little delayed as well as far as people posting. So, in fact, you could, well, I was going to say you could test that out, but I might actually turn off live chat from the browser source. Sorry, browser source, like you know what that means. From my display. Nah, I'll leave it in there. Why not? Why not? I'm just gonna hit submit pull request. Or well, I'm not gonna do that. Sauce Labs. Investigate browser checker for possible automation options. Okay. I'm creating it. And then if I go back over here, it should, yeah, reference this issue. Perfect. Hasn't been merged in yet. Oh, you know, we need it needs to run the Circle CI stuff first. That makes sense. You know, that's fine. I'll be patient with them. Man, all that work for 9 lines of code. That's not even code, it's just a configuration. Let me double check that link works. It does. What is the, oh, that's, I think I see what they're going with there. Maybe, maybe not. Like a check mark to say, okay, that looks good. Next, work on this. That looks good. Okay, next, work on this. Okay, that looks good. Next, work on this. Okay. Okay. And then go from there. So that way they can kind of check that they've done all their testing and everything. Okay, Circle CI. Why haven't you gone through yet? Why is my mouse soaking wet? What? Did I spill my tea? Where the heck did that come from? Problems, people. Problems. Okay. I can unplug that. I'm just waiting to make sure this Circle CI build passes. And then I'm going to take my break. Has it passed yet? Has it passed yet? Has it passed yet? It's running. Okay. I can close that out. I can close that out. Yeah, I'm not going to add that deploy button. I don't think it's really needed. Talking to myself here about that. Arguing with myself about whether it's needed. Next up. What do we have? So... one of the things that I originally wanted to do, so I've done that, was take their tests that were being passed through JS DOM, all of their jest tests, which is under packages. So if you look at like React DOM under source, there's going to be a test folder. And they've got all of these tests. That do a whole bunch of stuff. Should fire on DOM ready when already in non-DOM ready. Yeah, so I have all this stuff that runs through Jest, but the issue that we're running into under scripts, we have Jest, and in the configuration, was it? Build. They run it through JS DOM. I think JS DOM is the default for Jest. So yeah, they run it through JS DOM, and in that issue, if I go back, they say basically you can't fake everything in JS DOM. Especially the quirks, which is always the fun part. Not the quarks. Quarks are a subatomic particle. These are just quirks. So anyway, yeah, change events of tricking jobs. It should be automatable. So I was thinking about making Jest run through a browser instead of JS DOM, but I spent 5 hours last week trying to figure that out, and there was just no hope. It looked like there was absolutely no hope. Okay, so now what I'm trying to figure out is, with Netlify set up, we have this static website here that we can test our DOM text, like just run manual checks against these. Automated tests against it. Is this finished yet? Will you please finish? Are you part of a workflow? No. You're just chilling. What's going on here? What in the world is going on there? Okay. So what else do they have? Focused, Selenium test via Sauce Labs. Reasonable idea. Did they actually come to a conclusion here? Okay. Started working with Nightwatch and Browser Stack. Yeah. That would be really good. So maybe I should be working on this Netlify to set up tests for every pull request. Not tests, sorry. A deployment for every pull request. Maybe that's the next thing that I want to check out. And if he's used Nightwatch, then I'll probably be familiar and enjoyed it. I'll probably like WebdriverIO because it's much the same. Okay, so yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So each PR gets its own Netlify deployment. Yay, passed. So I'm going to continue along the Netlify theme. Come back here, all things passed, got my CLI signed and all that. Okay, I will be returning in about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll see y'all back there, and yeah. So what I was looking at is right after the break, I was looking at the Netlify configuration to see if I could do deploy per pull request, and it's all built in, so that was super awesome. Try this again. So I really didn't have to do anything there to get that working. Okay, so it is outputting to my speakers again. So after that, I wanted to figure out about writing WebdriverIO tests for React, mainly for the DOM fixtures. Okay, I'm gonna close Spotify and audio output. So if did you hear that little bling bling? Yes, you did. Okay. So it's just an issue with Spotify. I am waiting. I am waiting. Bling, bling. You hear bling, bling all the time, don't you? We have music back. Thank God. I know you wanted that so badly. Okay. So one of the things that they were looking at in this issue is this Nathan guy created a NightWatch.js repo that will basically run an example test. And I was trying to figure out where to add this code. Should I add it in the Facebook React code base or not? For his, he added it in a brand new repo. And so I was thinking, let's just stick with that. And I was looking at Jest and integrating WebdriverIO and Jest, but right now there's not an adapter in WebdriverIO for Jest. So there's a Mocha adapter, there's a Jasmine adapter, but not a Jest adapter. So I looked at that for a second, but realized that it wasn't really going to work all that well. And I was also keeping track of timing just so I could make notes on when I got to certain parts. But those are pretty useless now. Let's say 3. Back. Audio. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is setting up a basic framework for WebdriverIO. Just to kind of copy what he's got going on. Where? Not here. Not here. Here. So he has a NightWatch.js repo set up for testing one of their DOM fixture pages. And I was just going to kind of copy that over and WebdriverIOify it. Yeah. Okay, so what I did, I initialized the repo. I've installed WebdriverIO. I edited the package.json file in order to add these test commands. And then I was going through the README right now. Okay, so local testing run make install the download system in Webdriver's bin. Don't need to do that. Run yarn test local. By default, this tests Chrome. Test additional browsers with. This is actually something that I don't think WebdriverIO has very easily. Has set up easily, but I don't know what the term is for it. Let's see. WebdriverIO. Undo that. Developer guide. Test runner. Configuration. So there is capabilities. What if, oh, go back up here, usage, no, get started, yes, frameworks, reporters, suite spec, yeah, so there's nothing in here about easily changing the browsers you're testing on, but I suppose you can pass in capabilities, a capabilities object. So that would look something. Yarn test local -e. I want to look at their CLI and see what -E does. Configuration, Selenium settings, test settings, globals. Command line usage. That's Gecko driver. Chromedriver. That's all Chromedriver, Microsoft Webdriver. Running tests, options. Do they have options in here? Yes, they do. So that defines what configuration you want to mess with, and then E is the environment, which testing environment to use, defined in nightwatch.json. Interesting. Nightwatch.json. So he would have a nightwatch.json file in here, and he does not. So where does that come from? Test settings, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, defaults. That's kind of neat. You can define browser shorthands in there. Oh, I see. He does have nightwatch.json. It's just nightwatch.whatever.js. Yeah. Okay, so environment, which testing environment to use. So that's under test settings. So I guess you can define multiple environments. That's a really neat little setting, I think. And something I think would be really cool to have in WebdriverIO is the ability to define multiple environments per in a single configuration file. Because I've found the need for that. Like I want my local file when I do a full test to run in like 5 browsers locally. But when I'm testing my test, I want it to run not in all 5 of them. I want to run them in one. So it'd be really nice to have environment. I'm going to step away for a minute, but I'm not actually going to change the screen because that messes things up. So I'll be back in a minute. I broke it. Oh, that's right. Oh, and my headphones fell out. It's a little behind the scenes for you. I have a light on my chair pointing behind me. It's to get the green screen set up right. Okay, let's get the framed. I'm in frame. I'm in frame. Okay, so what I was looking at was, that's fine. There isn't a way to define, is not a way to define environments to pass in specific browsers you want to test in. That kind of stinks. I do like that. I think I've been over that. So right now, by default, this tests in Chrome, test additional browsers. I'm just going to delete that line. To test in Safari, you do need to do that. I think remote testing, create an account on Browser Stack or Sauce Labs. Copy, fill in your browser stack. Sauce Labs username and key with, and then one thing that they don't mention, I wonder, do they pull in .env? That was in here. Startup process output require .env. I didn't know about that. That's awesome. Totally doing that. Okay. That's super easy. But I do need to go into that environment file. env.example. And then comment out both of these because you'll only want to uncomment and fill out yeah, that'll do. Was I saying something? I feel like I was saying something. Next, I want to hold on. Throw that at the bottom. That's weird. Fill in your browser Sauce Labs username with key within .env. And then run yarn test remote. By default, this tests Chrome. So I'm going to run yarn test local right now. This is going to try and run the configuration file. Okay. I'll need to jump back over here. I can close that. 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 And I can keep this open. What happened is it tried loading this file and it couldn't find it. So I'm just going to delete that line for now and then undo that. What I wanted to do is get this configuration helper in place. So this configuration helper is pretty common. I am going to say in the cloud using Sauce Labs, Browser Stack, or Testing Bot, even though I may not be using that. Sauce username, Sauce access key. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's fine. We'll do Mocha. Yes, I want to install that. My tests are in /test/. Where do they put their tests? I think it was just test. Yeah. */*star.js. And then I want the spec reporter for shoes. I want, yeah, install that. I'm going to install Sauce and Browser Stack, and also Selenium standalone. And do I want Chromedriver? I do want screenshots cleanup. I like that service. That's a really nice service. I haven't gotten to use it yet. So do I want Chromedriver? I'm gonna go with no, not right now. What Chromedriver, it's like Selenium. It's just specific to Chrome. And so it makes it easier to set up. But the issue I'm running into is with it. No, that's not it. It's easier to set up in general. You don't have to install Java to run it, but you do need to do a little bit of configuration. And since I am already installing Selenium standalone, I don't really think that I need to get Chromedriver in place right now. Okay, so this did create a configuration file for me, which wasn't exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. Okay. And let's open that file up. So configuration, I think I'm just gonna change that to username and access key, but I'm not crazy about just username. Yeah, I'll leave it, and then I'll edit my, how do I get to there? .env. And I will call this access key and this username, and undo this. Prefer fill out availability by design. Oh shoot. I think I'm just gonna have to make a choice between Browser Stack and Sauce Labs, because there is a service. I guess I can load both of the services, Browser Stack and Sauce. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. It's just an example repo, so it doesn't matter all that much. Okay. Username and access key. And I really want to change this. I just feel like username is going to be a common environment variable. So I will do wdio underscore username and wdio underscore access key. That's what I will do. That makes it a little bit more specific. Okay, so it shouldn't matter what you enter, whether you do the Sauce Labs or the Browser Stack here, because it's WebdriverIO is smart enough to figure out which one you want to connect to based off of the user key. Or the username. No, not the username, the access key. They follow a different pattern for the access keys. It's kind of a neat little thing. Okay, and then I do want to pull that out and come here and then require the config. And how did they do that? So when they required that config, they referenced it. Where, oh, it would be in remote, wouldn't it? And process, okay. BS user, BS key. Is that what they had for their example? No, they didn't, okay. So, got that in place. We've got our tests. Max instances, browser name. We'll test in Chrome by default. I will get rid of that. And That's fine. Error shots. Where do they test when they test locally? They test launch URL. Browser.launch URL. Input change events. So I guess they don't really have anything in here. Makefile? No. Git ignore environment example. They don't have the launch URL in there. I could put that in there, but I think what I'm going to do is do this. So either the launch URL that you have defined or the public site that I set up just a while back. We'll go with that. And then under Mocha Ops, I am going to set the timeout to 60 seconds. Inspect. Oh, wrong place. And then in my hooks, right here, I'm going to use those jest matchers. Just WebdriverIO. I'm going to go to this issue, and I think they mentioned it in the issue that they did just master. Yeah, here. Global.expect will require just matcher, so I need to install that. Okay, that's installed. Good, 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 good. I'll give him the thumbs up. And what else? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up to where I have a basic test command. I have a test multiple command, which is wdio multiple.conf.js, and then a test remote command. No, I don't want that. I'm going to get rid of the remote. There's going to be a basic test. If you want to test on if you want to test in remote, then all you have to do is set up your environment. Okay. By default. To test on multiple browsers at once. Pass in the .js bash. So the yarn test dash dash. No, not that. wdio multiple.configuration.js. Perfect. So I will need to create this file. Let's go and do that now. And I do have an example of this file, wdi starter kit. And I use object assign in here. I don't think I want to do that anymore. I actually think I changed this up to use a different format. So give me just a second to look something up off screen, because I do it differently now. Yeah, that's how I do it. So I create a prod config, not prod config. This is just base config. That's what I'll call this. So I load in base config, and then I get rid of that, and I get rid of that, because I don't need that. And then I pass in whatever overrides I want. So here it'll be capabilities, and that's an array, not an object. Oops. Yeah. So in here I could yeah, I could even ignore this multiple. I think so. I'm gonna undo this. I'm not gonna do this. Whew. So I'm gonna do const in browsers. It's going to be Chrome, Firefox, and I think I'm just going to copy over the browsers that they've defined. Browser name, Firefox, and I'm going to do that in remote here. Now I'm thinking about this. I'll call this remote browsers. I'm going to create a new folder and just module.export. New file. It's going to be a local and a remote. Thinking about this too hard. Just calm down. Okay, so local is going to be a lot of these. So I'll go back here under local, and we've got a default, and then the extras. Default is Firefox. That's kind of funny. Just didn't want that many. Chrome, Firefox, Safari. Yeah, I'm just going to do Firefox, Chrome, Safari. This is not as smooth as I wanted it to go. Chrome, Firefox, Safari, IE, and Edge. So I'm going to name this browsers.js, and I'm going to do const browsers is equal to require browsers. So I'll load the browsers in, then I'm going to check if this is defined. So if and if so, then I'm going to say let capabilities equal to browsers.local.chrome. So this is going to run, well, capabilities is going to be an array. And I was going to have Chrome in there by default, but I think I'm going to wait on that. So I'll throw that over there. So I want to see if the username is defined. .length is greater than 0. Not entirely sure that's how that's going to work, but we will do capabilities dot concat and pass in browsers dot remote. The whole point of all this is to get how they have their ability to pass in different browsers. I thought that would be nice for us to have. But the more I think about it, the more this is just kind of blossoming out of control. The other thing is the way you write your capabilities is different between Sauce Labs and Browser Stack. That's dumb. So these are all built for Sauce Labs, or sorry, for Browser Stack. So I think I'm going to undo a lot of this. Yeah. I'm going to undo a lot of this. I'm going to open back up that. This example file, and I'm just going to change this to Browser Stack. And Browser Stack key. And switch back over to see what they put in theirs. Yeah. I'm just going to stick with Browser Stack because this is not working too great. Now, why did it not install the adapter for Browser Stack? That was kind of weird. That seems like a bug in WebdriverIO because I'm pretty sure it used to install it for you. Okay. So this will be Browser Stack user. I can delete that. And I'm going to change this to let wdio config equal that, and then module dot, actually it's exports dot config. It's equal to wdio config. That way I can come in and say if we have if we've defined this Browser Stack key, then add in, then change our capabilities. So this is going to be wdio config dot capabilities is now equal to, and basically what am I going to do? Come in here, I'm going to remove that, copy that out, come back over here and create an array, paste that in, good. I'm fairly certain this formatting is a little bit off, but we can be fine with that. Okay, so if we're using Browser Stack, we also want to push. So this service, I'm going to take it out of my services list. I'm also going to take this one out. So I'm going to set the capabilities. I'm going to add browser stack service. Well, I guess that's going to be pretty apparent. WDIO config.services.push, and we'll push this browser stack services on. Else we are going to do WDIO services.push, and we're going to push the Selenium standalone service on to our array. And then under our capabilities, we'll just test Chrome for now. Oh, and I need to update that. Why did that not get updated? I thought I fixed that. Okay. Just test Chrome. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to delete this file, this browser.js file. Okay. I'll get rid of that because it's not a thing right now. Maybe I'll worry about that later, next time. Test in Safari, I can delete that. And I guess since I'm only testing in Chrome, I could run this through Chromedriver. Even though I said I wasn't going to. Then I can find browser user key, environment, run yarn test. This test. 5 different browsers. Sure, not Sauce Labs, browser stack. Let's test Chrome locally. Remote testing, local testing. Local server testing to define and then what was that? If I go back here to there, and it was serve, yeah, localhost 5000. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get rid of this launch URL. It's not really needed. Bling, 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 bling. Rid of that. And then if I try to run this, see, it didn't install any of the services. That does not seem right. Okay, let's take a detour into the React code base, or not the React code base, the WebdriverIO code base. So It's a 338 Detour to WDIO config set up. If I go into bin, no, this is going to be under lib. There is the launcher. And in here, there's this configuration runner that's going to ask you all those questions that I went through. So all these questions, not there. Here, this WebdriverIO configuration helper. That's what I'm looking for. That is under the CLI? Yeah, it is. Okay, so it uses this third-party NPM package called Inquire to ask you a bunch of questions. And at one point, it asks you your services. Do you want to add service to your test setup? And then it should ask, should I install the services for you? Let me see if it asked me. So do I want to add services? I said yes. Oh, I said no. Why did I say that? That was dumb. Okay, so it's not an issue with them. Because I thought that was going to be a weird bug. So, okay. I've got the framework and that I need to install some services. I want the browser stack service. So that's going to be an npm I browser stack service. What else? I'm going to skip Selenium standalone actually. Since I haven't installed Selenium standalone, I'm going to use Chromedriver. That's what I'm going to do. So I also need to install Chromedriver and wdio Chromedriver service. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to come back down here under Selenium standalone and change this with Chromedriver. And I also need to change the, let me see something. WDIO Chromedriver service. Because there is a way to pass in options to my Chromedriver service. Oh, I thought there was. Oh well, I'll just do that. I'll set the path and the port. So that's going to be config.services.push. I'm going to change the port to the Chromedriver port, and then I'm going to change the path to the Chromedriver path. And then the other thing is I want to see in their example, did they use quotes, double quotes for everything? Okay, so I want to also use double quotes for everything. So I'm going to come in here, replace all of it. Hopefully that didn't break anything. Just double check. Looks good. Okay. My headphone fell out. Almost there. Almost there. How did that install go? Looks like it installed everything. Chromedriver service, browser stack. So now I can do a yarn test and see. That's fine. That is fine. Basically, it doesn't like that So I think I can just set this. There. Cannot read property folder of undefined. Oh. So I guess if an error shots folder isn't available to begin with, it's going to throw an error. So that's worth mentioning to the screenshots cleanup service repo. Under source and that, then options.folder. Oh, that's weird. It looks like it does check if it exists. Oh. Absolute pattern optional property to tell what pattern to apply before deleting screenshots. I kind of wish that would just use the folder defined in error shots. But I guess if you use... Okay. I was thinking this was used just to clean up your error shots folder. But it looks like it's for any sort of screenshot type of thing. So I'm going to do screenshot path to error shots. That's all I'll do. And I can get rid of that. Okay. Let's try running this again. Told you that was the first time I was using that little tool. Okay, good. So it's saying that we don't have any tests available. So I'm going to make a directory tests. And then I'm going to create a test slash, what do they call their tests? Example.test.js, that's what we'll call it. Get to the right place. There. Okay. I want to jump back into Chrome, and I'm going to copy this entire thing out and paste it in here. And then I'm going to say describe. I wonder if I can just use it. And I don't need to pass in browser. And I don't need to end the browser. I need to go to browser.url and just do input change events. Browser, wait for element visible. How about just wait for visible container? I can get rid of that. Click toggle radio, and then I'm going to do expect. So I will do that. Expect. Oh, that's kind of nice that they have it like that. I do admit that's a nicer thing. There is a WebdriverIO chai WebdriverIO that kind of has this kind of thing. But that would mean needing to use the chai assertion library. And one of the things I was trying to do is use the jest assertions. These jest matchers. Using matchers. Expect that to be that to equal can I add my own matchers in here? Yeah. Let me see. What's you? Okay. So what I'm going to do is install chai and chai WebdriverIO. That's what I'm going to do, because it's really nice to be able to write it like this. And it makes for a really good example. So what I need to do is add this to my configuration file under this before. I'm going to do const chai and const WebDriver. And then that. And then I will do a global.expect is equal to chai.expect. Yeah. So that way if we want to use expect, we can. But in here, we're going to do, actually, no, we do need to have that global expect in there. Chai.expect, okay. Expect that. So expect, I can come in here and get rid of element. Expect blank to not be selected, to be selected, to not be selected, or not to be selected, to not. I wonder if it switches out just fine. Click toggle radio. So you just click the radio toggle. Let's try running this and see how far we get. I did. I don't know if I can actually run it with just an it command. Can I read property title of undefined? Yeah. I think that's what that is. Describe input change events. And then do another function here. There, and when a radio value and name changes at once. Let me try writing this again. Loads the file, perfect. That's fine. Couldn't find click toggle. So let us see if that's even on the page. Where is it? Radio input clicks. Click on the radio input. Yeah. Radio toggle. Which one was it? Toggle radio. Looks like it's not in there. Button toggle. So it's probably this one. Yeah, okay. So this changed. It is going to be a button with toggle. So I'm going to say const toggle button is equal to, and I'm going to do button star equals toggle. Save the button that has text of toggle. And delete that. And then just do toggle button dot click. First radio and second radio. Is that what they're named? First name. Oh, fuck. Why did they get changed? I want to see the history on here. Yeah. Oh, it's not even in here. Public source. There, components. Fixtures. Radio inputs, right? What's that under? See you later, Nando. Have a great day. I think you've already signed off. Okay, so those were radio button input change events. Is that under? So we got buttons. It wouldn't be in there. Input change events. Okay. Index.js. Maybe at the bottom. Click the toggle button. Check the radio button. Radio name change fixture. Name equals radio name. Oh, okay. So when I toggle it, it goes from first name to second name. Oh man, that really stinks. Because there's no ID on here anymore. There might have used to have been an ID set in here that they were able to tag into. Format text fixtures. That's it. Switch the name property preserves radio selection. Where did that come from then? First radio. Well, I'm gonna have to say what? Oh man. I guess I can like get the container. And this is gonna have to be some XPath code because I'm gonna have to use the /parent. Okay, so // what do I want? I want this toggle button. I think. Unless I do. That is a label. At text. I don't even think it's at text. Equals radio button. Parent. Ugly selector. Button with name changes. Okay, so it did find that. It just didn't get it didn't go up to parents. parent. So I could do ancestors h2. Yeah. Toggle container. Input radio, first radio. Second radio. Why is this so confusing? $sign. That's what I could do. Instead of doing this, I can come in here and do a nth child 0. And this is going to be first name. Actually, it's going to be second name to begin with. Right, so when I load the page, what do we have? It's called second name. And I hit toggle and then it's first name. So let's try reloading this. Okay, so it does reset. So the first, it's going to be first name. Yeah, this is just an example. And then nth child CSS selector. I always forget whether it's 0 indexed or 1 index. So the 7th element. Okay, so it is 1 index. So nth child 1, nth child 2. So I should be able to do, that's going to have to be input name equals first name, child 1. Let me see if that actually selects it. No, it doesn't. That's because it's not on the page. There we go. Okay, and then it'll be 2. Huh. What? Oh, it's not the nth. Oh, man. That's not going to work. I really just need an ID around this thing. Oh, well. I am gonna have to undo all of that and go back to this container idea. So I've got con input type equals radio. And I wonder if I can do const radio button. No, I can't. Oh, man. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Because, yeah, so both of them are the nth child of 1. That's the problem that's going on. Closing down all these things that I don't need. I'm sure it was a lot easier when they were just using IDs. Let's see if that has any IDs in it. It does not. Type radio, name foo, checked. So the problem that I'm running into right now is Chai WebdriverIO, as cool as it is, doesn't really allow you to pass in non-text elements, non-text selectors. So see how these all have to be text selector kind of things? And I think that's scoping selectors. Weird. Yeah, there isn't a thing in here where you want to be able to do that. So I want to look in here. How does this get loaded? So if I go into the assertion, so count client.waitUntil count, add method count, has count. What's has count do? Client.elements.selector. Okay. So this would basically mean checking to see if selector is an object. If so, just use that object. Otherwise, call client.elements. So what happened here? Looks like yeah. So I can just use an XPath here. Yeah, I'm just gonna use XPath. / it's going to be a label that contains first radio. Label text equals first radio. Let's see if this works in the browser. Hey, thanks for joining. Whoever just joined. Hey, it got it, I think. So that got the label. I need the input inside of it. It's kind of funny how that works. Oops, so $X. I'm hopefully wrapping up soon. There we go. Okay. So that'll work. Yeah. I'm fine with this. Assuming this works. It's not the cleanest, but it is example code that is just kind of showing that this works. Okay. So now I come back in and run yarn test. That's fine. That is a-okay. Basically, my assertion is incorrect. So I need to see what assertions are on there. To be visible, have text, count, value, focus, not have text. Oh, API selected is selected. So is that not in there? There is no is selected. Son of a bitch. Would that be in a pull request? Under issues, additional matchers. Yeah. I think I added some stuff to this at one point. And I just didn't get through the testing step of it. I did. Yay, focus and value assertions. That was a long time ago. Why did my headphone fall out? Okay. Oh, that stinks. I guess if I can't go that way with try WebdriverIO, then I'll do it this way. Second radio. Not as nice, but It'll do, I think. Let's try it. Oh, what? It worked. Is there even a container in here? That's a question. Okay, I can delete that. Come out here. There is a div class container. Cool. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay. In that case, I'm going to do add. Oh, and you know what I didn't do was test this in browser stack with all of these. So the question is, do I want to do that real quick or just call it a day? I kind of just want to call it a day. It's been a long day. So I'm just going to call it a day. I'm going to add this to my to-do. So done. What do add WebDriver test framework to React? So step 1 is create sample WebdriverIO or example. Whoops. WebdriverIO repo. Off its usage. And then under there, I need to validate it works in browser stack. Oops. Nope, didn't want to do that. Why are you being like this? Why? There. Okay, save that up. Good to go. And I think that is it for the stream. I am going to add this and commit. First example, get the local example working. And I'll push that up. And I will, I'm going to comment on there, here. Cool, okay. Come back in here and mention to Hunziker. Your Nightwatch.js sample and modified it to use benefits of WebdriverIO over Nightwatch are built. Okay, that's that. I'm going to close down the stream. Thank y'all for watching. I think what I need to do, get this all right. I will be back again next week, and I'll keep going down this path and hopefully make some more progress, and we'll see maybe this, at least get some sort of update on this Netlify integration. So y'all have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. Love to hear your comments if you're watching this after the fact on what you want to see in this live stream or what you prefer, things like that. So feel free to comment away. Thank y'all very much. Bye. Oh.